Computer-aided simulation and analysis is a practical course for 5th semester diploma mechanical engineering students studying in Karnataka. In this practical course, the students will be exposed to any simulation and analysis software like ANSYS. Along with that, they should also have the knowledge of solving that particular problem using analytical methods. Then finally, they are going to compare the results obtained by analytical calculations with the results obtained using simulation and analysis software. In this session 1, we will be dealing with a structural problem where a bar with uniform cross-sectional area fixed at one end is subjected to a tensile force at the other end. If you look at the problem description, here we can see a steel rod subjected to a tension force. This can be modeled by a one bar element, and we need to determine the nodal displacement and axial stress in each element, and finally the reaction forces. Here the bar with uniform cross-sectional area is fixed at the left end, and we can consider that as node 1. At the other end, it is subjected to a tensile force of 1500 Newton, and we will consider that particular point as node 2. And here there is only one element between node 1 and node 2, that is the overall length of the bar belongs to the element 1. If we look at the dimensions of the bar, it is having a circular cross section with diameter 50 mm and the overall length of the bar is 300 mm. The Young's modulus of the element of the bar is given as E is equal to 2.1 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per mm square, and the Poisson's ratio is 0.3. Now we will be proceeding towards how to solve this problem using analytical calculations. First, we need to calculate the deformation. Before going into the calculation, we will find out the area of cross section of the bar using the standard equation for circular cross section, pi d square divided by 4. If we substitute the value of diameter 50 mm, the value of cross section will become 1963.5 millimeter square. Now the deformation at node 1 will be equal to 0 because node 1 belongs to the point where the bar is rigidly fixed. Therefore, there the deformation will be 0. If we need to calculate the deformation at node 2, we will use the standard equation for the deformation, that is PL divided by AE, where P is the applied force, L is the length of the bar, A is the area of cross section, and E is the Young's modulus for the material of the bar. If we substitute all these values, the final value of deformation at node 2 becomes 1.0913 into 10 to the power minus 3 millimeter. Now we will proceed for the calculation of stress. At node 1, we can calculate the stress using a simple mathematical relation, that is load divided by cross sectional area, or P divided by A. If we substitute the values of force and area as 1500 and 1963.5, then on substituting these two values, the value of stress at node 1 becomes 0.76394 Newton per millimeter square. We know that node 2 also belongs to the same element. Therefore, the value of stress is also same as node 1, and it becomes 0.76394 Newton per mm square at node 2 also. Finally, for the calculation of reaction forces, we will use the simple equilibrium equation, that is algebraic sum of all the forces acting on that bar element is equal to 0. And we know that there are only two forces acting on the bar. One is the reaction force at node 1 and other is the applied force at the node 2. Then the equation becomes R1 plus 1500 is equal to 0. The reaction at node 1 becomes R1 is equal to minus 1500 Newton. So now we have calculated all the values using analytical method. Now we will proceed towards the solving the problem using the ANSYS software. This is the ANSYS window and I am using release 14.5 version. Okay. Here in the left side you can see the main menu, and in the top side you can see the utility menu, and this black colored area, it is called graphics area. In order to start the problem, first we need to set the preferences. Since we are solving a structural problem, we will click on structural and again OK. Okay. Now we will proceed towards the preprocessor and we have to set the element type. So click on element type, again add, edit, delete, and we need to add, so click on add again. And since we are creating a one-dimensional element, that is link, click on link and select 3D finite STN 180 and click OK. Now you can see that the element type link 180 is added and you can close this window. Okay. Now we are going to set the real constant values. So click on real constants, again add, edit, delete, add the real constant values. We can see the link 180, that is the element type. Click on OK. Now it is already real constant set number 1. So we need to enter the cross sectional area. We will enter the value 1963.5, which I have already calculated. It is the area of cross section. So after entering the value, click on OK. Now you can close this window. Now we will proceed towards adding the material properties. So click on material properties, then go to material models and click on it. Again for material model number 1, click on structural. It is a linear element and elastic, and we know that it is isotropic also, that is the assumption we are making. So here the Ex value is nothing but the Young's modulus value and PRXY is the Poisson's ratio. So enter the Young's modulus value as 2.1. 10 to the power 5 can be written as just E5. The letter E5 indicates that it is into 10 to the power 5. Now you enter the Poisson's ratio value, that is 0.3. After entering these two values, click on OK. Now the values for material model number 1 has been added and you can close this window. Now go towards the modeling and click on that. Again click on create. First we will create the two nodes required for the creation of element. So click on nodes, again click on inactive CS. Now put the node number as 1. If you leave all these fields blank, automatically the software will take 0 values. So click on 1 and put the value node number as 1 and just click on apply. So node number 1 is created with all XYZ coordinates 0. Now in order to create the node number 2, put the value as 2 and only we need to put the X value as 300 for the node 2, since overall length of the bar is 300 mm, and click on OK. Now node 1 and 2 are already created. So minimize this. Now we will proceed towards the creation of elements through node 1 and 2. So click on elements, again click on auto numbered, again click on through nodes. Now you can select the point 1, node 1, and again select node 2 using the mouse only, then click on OK. Now we can say the element 1 is created through the two nodes 1 and 2. Now we will proceed towards adding the loads. So click on loads and again click on define loads and again click on apply and structural. First we are going to make the node 1 as a rigidly fixed point by putting a displacement load. We will see how to make it. So click on displacement, again on nodes. Now you select the node 1 where we are going to put the displacement load. Okay. After clicking on node 1, click on OK. Now, in order to create a rigidly fixed node, we have to restrict all the degrees of freedom. 6 degrees of freedom we have to restrict. So, click on DOF to be constrained as all DOF and again click on OK. Now, we can say that at node 1 all the degrees of freedom are constrained and node 1 turns into a rigidly fixed support. Now, we will proceed towards putting the actual load, that is the tensile force acting at node 2. So click on force moment again click on nodes and select the node 2 by using mouse click. Okay, so again click on OK. Now you can say the direction of force moment is Fx, it is already Fx there, so no need to change. Now put the value of axial tensile force, that is 1500 Newton. So enter the value there and click on OK. Now we can see that at node 2 you can see a small red line which indicates the force applied 1500 Newton. So now we have completed all the steps in this preprocessor. Now we will proceed towards the solution. So click on solution and click on solve again click on current ls. So begin solution of current load step, we'll click on OK. A message is displayed that solution is done. You can close this. Now we'll proceed towards the general post processor where we can see the results after analysis. In order to get the values of stress, first we need to create the element table. So click on element table and again on define table. So we are going to add a element table. So click on add. Enter user label for item as stress. Okay. Then in the below selection, select by sequence number. That is the last one in the list. Again click on ls here and ls, the stress value for component 1, that's why ls comma we have to put the value as 1 here. Okay, after making all these arrangements you can click on OK. Now we can see that the stress table ls for component 1 is already created. Now we can close this. Okay, now we will see the results. Either you can plot the results or you can see the values by just clicking on list the result. First we will see how to get the plot for the required results. So click on plot results, then proceed towards the contour plot. First we will see how to get the deformation solution. So click on nodal solution. Again in this pop-up window click on DOF solution and we will select the x component of displacement and we will click on OK. Now we can see a plot representing the value of deformation from node 1 to node 2 and the maximum value of deformation comes out at the node 2 with a red colored area, and we can see the values, that is maximum value of deformation is 0.001091. This is nothing but 1.091 into 10 to the power minus 3, the value which we have obtained using theoretical calculation. Okay, in a similar way we will see the stress plot by clicking on line element results. Okay, after selecting line element results, it is already stressed there, so just click on OK. Now the stress plot is plotted here. We can say the stress is same over all the length of the bar because it is a single element bar. The value of stress is 0.763942, which is same as the value obtained using the theoretical calculation. In the similar way, we can list the results by clicking on list results. First, we will see how to get the value of displacement. So click on nodal solution, again on DOF solution, then click on x component of displacement and click OK. Now we can say the result as a list. Node 1 ux is the deformation value, it is 0 at node 1, and we can see at node 2 the deformation value is 0.10913 into 10 to the power minus 2. That is nothing but, in other way we can say 1.0913 into 10 to the power minus 3, which is same as the value obtained using theoretical calculation. You can note this value. In the similar way, in order to get the value of the stress, we can click on element table data, then click on stress and click on OK. Now we can see the value here. For the element 1, the value of stress is 0.76394. This is same as the value obtained using theoretical calculation. For node 1 as well as node 2, the value is same, 0.76394. Okay, we can close this. Now we will see how to get the reaction value. In order to get that, click on reaction solution and select all items and click on OK. We can see here that in this list, for node 1, the reaction Fx along the x direction, it is minus 1500 Newton. In the theoretical calculation also we have obtained the same value. Node 1 is the rigidly fixed point, that's why the reaction comes out to be minus 1500 Newton. So it is same as the theoretical calculation value. You can close this also. So this is the two ways in which you can obtain the results. In the similar way, you can obtain the animation for the required property also by clicking the plot controls in the utility menu. In order to get the exact shape of the bar, first select style in that size and shape and click on display of element on. Okay, make it on and OK. Now again, in order to get the animation, click on plot controls, go to animate and deformed results. We'll select here the DOF solution. Okay, click on OK. Now we can get the animation of the deformation while applying the load. Again, here also we can see that the value of deformation obtained at various points in the form of various colored portions. Okay, this is the way in which you can solve this problem by ANSYS, and you can compare the results with the analytical values obtained. Hope that you have all understood how to use the ANSYS to solve a simple structural problem. Thank you.